being with Pete Carroll.
Okay.
The culture that he established, the leadership that he brought to the table, I had never seen before. His philosophy, always compete. Always compete. And I really resonated with that because, A, I was an athlete myself. I told you I played football. I compete in Olympic lifting. I competed in bobsled for the Canadian team. And I've done a lot of sports.
Fascinating.
So to me, buy-in as an athlete, that was so important to see that now as a coach.
Welcome back to the 2023 AFCA convention here in Charlotte, North Carolina, and the E-Team sponsored podcast. CEO and co-founder Sean Connors here. Pleasure to be joined by Amanda Ruller. Amanda is a running backs coach. She was the recipient of the CFL Apprenticeship Award, got to coach with the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and then also the Bill Walsh Apprenticeship in the NFL, and got to coach with the Seattle Seahawks. Awesome. Thanks for joining the podcast.
Oh, thanks for having me on. I love sharing my journey and everything I'm about. So
let's jump right in. What a great story. So tell me, how did you get into this?
Yeah, for sure. So growing up, I used to go to the Canadian Football League games all the time with my parents. And I think looking out there, I was like, this is for me. I love the game so much. I wanted to get involved. I played football myself.
Awesome.
And then I thought, how could I get into coaching? It wasn't as easy as you think. So after I played, I got into football media. So I started doing CFL media. I got to be around the coaches and players, asking them lots of questions and spreading my knowledge about the game. I kind of gained their trust and attention that way. So I got an opportunity to go to McMaster University and be a running backs coach, which was perfect. I relayed that into coaching for the CFL because I had reached out to the coach I had done CFL media for and said, this is my dream to be a professional coach. And I was able to get an apprenticeship opportunity with the Saskatchewan Roughriders to be the assistant running backs coach. So.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. So take us through that. I mean, there's a lot, you talk about the last handful of years, there's a lot of barriers that are being broken down in all walks of life. So talk me through that. How much of a challenge was that for you to earn that opportunity? I mean, what were the conversations like? Who did you have to talk to? Take us through that journey.
Yeah, I think just like anybody trying to do anything great. If you really want to do it, it's about who knows you. So it's always being in the right place at the right time and utilizing what you have going on. So I'm an exercise physiologist by trade. I've got my bachelor's of kinesiology, certified in exercise physiology. So I started opening up my own business where I was training football athletes. And everything from university to the pro CFL level, I was training them for the combine. So I'm a movement speed analysis person that can get you fast quick. So when you're thinking about football, it's like, can you have the fastest way to get these guys better, stronger, faster, understand the game, have better concepts. That is exactly what I bring to the table.
That's awesome. Oh my gosh. Wow, this is fascinating. Being a former football coach for a long time, I'm ready to jump all in on that. That sounds incredible. In terms of just the experiences, I mean, really got to be pretty amazing to be a part of two distinctly, it's the game of football, but distinctly different organizations, obviously, and coaches. But I know you said you told me your favorite part was working with Coach Carroll. Talk me through both organizations, just the experience at both places, and maybe compare and contrast. Talk about what the great takeaways maybe from both.
Yeah. Okay. So the Canadian game, especially with the CFL, I got to work with Coach Kelly Jeffrey. Amazing coach. He was the running backs coach there. He's now the OC of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. The game 3 downs, right? In the CFL. So it's a lot of more pass game. So not a lot of run. That's totally fine. But you got to refine that pass pro for the running backs. And I was there to help see, okay, what is this like? What drills do we need to implement to get them better at that? And because of that, going into the NFL, I was able to utilize those drills I knew so much from the CFL, bring that into the NFL because they're very run heavy, as you know, especially the Seahawks. I was very impressed by the Seahawks' establishment of the run game. Their run concepts, a lot of the stuff they did, I hadn't seen in the CFL. So that was kind of the difference there. The more run game, and I'm a running backs coach, so let's run.
Let's
run the ball. So I am about that run game. Definitely the CFL on a smaller scale. The talent is there. People probably don't think about that, but just maybe the resources.
Okay.
Not as great as the NFL.
Okay.
I will tell you that. So when I did go to the NFL, you're thinking, oh, this is Disneyland. It's the big show. But everyone is so down to earth.
Yeah.
So great.
How refreshing is that to hear?
So refreshing, and especially the first time I met Coach Carroll.
Yeah.
He was so funny.
Yeah.
He pulled a prank on me. He did everything just to make me
What did he do?
Smile and interested. He kind of, when we got into our team meeting,
yeah,
he started coming in and he had a kind of like a somber attitude, and he started telling stories about the group.
Yeah.
He said, this guy did this growing up, this person. He said, we're going to get Coach Ruller to come up here and talk. And I was like, oh no, it's my first day.
And I got to follow that up? Yeah.
And as soon as I was about, getting up, everyone's like, oh, sit down, we were joking, kind of thing. I was nervous as heck. So it was kind of a cool way to ease the tension, welcome in the next person.
Break the ice.
Because I saw him do it to somebody else, which was perfect.
Yeah,
so,
there you go.
It was cool just to be, when you're a new coach, you want to be like everybody else.
Sure, yeah.
So it's cool, like, just to be welcomed in.
Yeah.
You bring your energy, your attitude, be yourself. So that's exactly what was great.
That's so cool. So you talk about why you get into something like this. You talk about maybe some of the people that have been influential along the way. Who were those people?
My father.
Okay.
My father was very influential. He said that I could do anything that I wanted to growing up.
Love it. Love it.
And his favorite team was the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
Oh, that's so awesome. And then that's the team you got
That's the team I got to
work with. That's amazing.
Yes. I unfortunately, he passed away from brain cancer.
Sorry to hear that.
So he never got to see me do it.
Oh.
And that's one thing is I really want to tell him.
Yeah.
And show him what I'm doing now and how happy I am.
Sure.
Because I think that he would have been very proud of me as his kid.
He is.
And I think that every day, he motivates me to do what I want and push for what I want.
Yeah.
So.
Oh my gosh, that's so great. What a heartwarming story. I'm so sorry to hear about your father, but no doubt he's looking down and proud of his daughter and all that you're doing. That's really cool. In terms of, you talk about maybe some of the differences between the game. You got to experience both, which is obviously that's one thing in itself. Maybe what are some of the things that you took away from some of the coaches that were differences? You talked about maybe some of the X's and O's aspects of it, but were there anything like maybe from a culture standpoint or even just from a leadership standpoint with those coaches, were the things you took away from the Canadian game versus the NFL game?
I like that you asked that. So it's definitely, I do talk X's and O's quite a bit, but when it gets down to it, being with Pete Carroll, the culture that he established, the leadership that he brought to the table, I had never seen before.
Really?
So
what was it that you hadn't seen?
The buy-in.
Okay.
The amount of buy-in from players.
Okay.
So every single room that you entered, there was a Seahawks logo and tap in. I jumped because I'm 5 feet tall, but everyone else could just tap in.
There you go.
I had to jump, do vertical jump I got good at it. But just little things like that. His philosophy, establishing a philosophy going forward. Always compete. Always compete. And I really resonated with that because I was an athlete myself. I told you I played football. I compete in Olympic lifting. I competed in bobsled for the Canadian team. And I've done a lot of sports.
Fascinating.
So to me, buy-in as an athlete, that was so important to see that now as a coach. And the CFL, it was definitely great, but I think the NFL brought that more, and I had never seen that type on that level before. And every single opportunity I have going forward, I will not be the same coach because I will demand a culture just like that.
So what are the elements of that? Because we talk a lot about it even as our company. We're a company of 40-plus individuals that all come from that same type of walks in life, right? Former competitive student athletes or athletes, coaches, administrators. Culture is so important. What were the core elements that you're going to take away from that you want to implement yourself, or what you saw being the core elements to that buy-in culture?
making sure that everybody has the right fit for the team.
Okay.
It's not just talent.
Okay.
And I think sometimes we expect that at the pro level. We're bringing in a lot of talent.
Sure.
But it was very interesting to see them break down their character of each person.
Sure.
What do they actually bring to their the table character-wise? Do they suck energy from the team, or do they bring the right vibe?
Wow.
And I was like, man, this is so cool that you consider this.
Yeah.
And I will always consider that going forward.
Yeah.
Does that person work hard? You could have the most talent in the world, but if you don't apply that, if you don't work hard, then it's a waste. And I always had to work hard because I was not the best athlete to begin with. I was okay. But I had to work really hard.
Sure,
I think I admire those types of athletes because I was that workhorse. So I'll always recruit people that I see potential to just work.
Yeah. Love it.
And it's finding that vibe and that energy and finding out what do they bring to the organization.
It's like we talk about it a lot. It's like is it a piece to a puzzle, that you're trying 100%. To put together, or is it that chemistry equation, right? Or that you're putting all these different people, these chemicals into a beaker. What are you creating with it? And I think that's culturally that's a whole fascinating topic in and of itself, and I love to hear that that's something that you really drew from what Coach Carroll's done an amazing job up there with that, and how important that is probably to any successful organization.
Oh, especially like the football operations, like you said, bringing in the certain people to the personnel for the puzzle.
Sure.
You have to have the right fit.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's does they buy into the culture? Are they going to be good for the organization?
Yeah.
But are they good for our personnel and our depth chart roster?
Well, Amanda, what's next for you? So you've had these two great opportunities. Mm-hmm. Where are you going next in your career?
I think for me, I am actually looking for the next opportunity.
Okay.
I think this last year with the CFL and the NFL and part of U Sport was. Yeah. You'll never see somebody that was in U Sport, CFL, and NFL like actually coached in all these games in a full calendar year.
Yeah,
so
that's pretty amazing.
For the first time in my life, I am not worried about what comes next because I am so excited about what comes next.
Love it.
I'm looking for the next opportunity, but I think the right fit will come to me, and that culture will speak to me. So.
And you'll know.
And
you'll know. That's awesome. Well, I'd love it. Maybe we can end it on a really empowering message. This has been an empowering interview, period. I just can't wait for any woman out there that's involved in the game of football in any capacity, or even ones that want to and just don't know how to get started. I'd love for you to share maybe a message with others out there in terms of maybe, an empowering message. If they want to get involved, how do they do it? What would you share with them?
Yeah, I would say be exactly who you are. And that's all I've ever been.
Yeah.
That's all I have ever been throughout this whole thing, is I was myself and I spoke true to who I am. I went to the NFL Combine last year, and that's how I ended up meeting people.
Okay.
So if you really want to be somewhere, come to the AFCA.
Yeah.
Go to the NFL Combine. Go where these people are, because it's about who knows you.
Create that opportunity for yourself.
You create that opportunity. So advice I have is you actually go out and do it.
Yeah.
Even if that's the thing is like, well, how much does that cost? If you're broke, you got to get an opportunity.
Yeah.
Still
invest
find
in your
that.
future. Yeah.
There's no way sitting at home is going to help. There's no way.
Love it.
So go out and get what you deserve.
Yeah, I love it. Great message of empowerment. Actually, I do have one more question for you. You've been able to look at the professional side of things through, in Canada and here in the NFL. How would you look at, is a certain level of football maybe speaking to you? I know you said you're going to find the right opportunity, and when it comes, it'll speak to you, but are you looking at something right now and you're saying, wow, it'd be great to be a part of a Division I program, or wow, I really could see myself working at a junior college, or what type of opportunity is it right now that you think kind of speaks to you?
Just like you said, those opportunities speak to me. I've competed in high performance sports, so I feel like me working with a high level, high performance athletes are where I belong.
Okay.
The universe too has to give you the right opportunity at the right time.
Sure, yeah.
So that is my goal. That is my wish, to be working at that level. So all I'm going to do is speak it into existence.
There you go. I love it. It's
high performance.
It'll manifest itself. I love it. Oh my gosh, that is so cool. Well, Amanda, thank you so much for coming by. the universe worked. We got you here, right? We got you in this chair. We get to share your story. I think a great empowering message that we'll get out to everybody out there. And again, we appreciate you being here. I look forward to keeping in contact with you.
Oh my goodness.
And we're definitely going to catch up with you down the road.
Thank you for having me, and thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Oh my God, that was awesome.
Oh, good.
I'm so glad. Now, how do you know Coach Rich?